I mean, they talked a lot about depth
Yeah,
on this team, and how much that's improved
yeah.
from last year. I guess, what have you kind of seen as far as depth, or how many how many of a how much of a rotation
Sure.
do you look to play here early
Yeah.
on?
Uh, they're right. We do have some depth, especially at the perimeter spots, which is really, really nice, especially for just how we want to play and, get up and down a little bit more this year. So I think that that's going to be really, really good for us. I think the big thing, too, in addition to our depth, is that we just have older kids now. And that's kind of been something that, we haven't necessarily had a luxury of before. Maybe, my first year we had older kids, but they had never played for me before. So now we have kids who have been in this program who just have a good feel for the Summit League, also know what it's like playing for me and what the expectations are. So I think that's been really beneficial kind of in these early days as we're preparing and stuff like that. They've been able to kind of take the younger kids under their wing and kind of bring them along some too, which is really, really nice. But the depth it's going to be a great thing, and just getting them to buy in to like play as hard as you can for as long as you can is really going to be important, because I do think we will have kids who can come in and just really sustain or boost the level of play too. So, yeah.
Since the start of practices, how have you seen this team grow even in the first few weeks?
Yeah, I think it's just we started off and we were really, really banged up. And so we were practicing 6 people one day, 7 people one day. So we're doing just a lot of breakdowns, right? And it's tough because those breakdowns are necessary, but it's kind of like you want to get that feel of playing 5-on-5 as well, too. As we've gotten bodies back and kids healthy and stuff like that, I think they've just taken big jumps in understanding offensively what we're trying to accomplish, and defensively just connecting with each other at a really high level has been a good thing. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. Obviously, just being able to watch a lot of film of practice, we've had close scrimmages and stuff like that, and seeing progress through that has been really, really great. Yeah.
Your players mentioned wanting to play fast, just moving with tempo. What kind of an emphasis are you putting on that, and what could it allow your team to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a turnover in practice. You're hearing that whistle, and I'm saying turnover. If you're not advancing the ball, if you're not running hard, if you're not looking up the court. So it's just something that I'm really focused on. So I'm glad that they said that and that their attention is on that as well, too. We talk a lot about sharing the basketball. I think we have a lot of kids who can score in a lot of different ways. So just really every day might not be your day, but I think everybody can have a day and a really big day. So just moving the basketball, sharing the basketball, making the extra pass, advancing it up the court. Those are things that we have really just consistently harped upon, and I think our kids are just seeing the benefit of it, like, hey, if we don't have to run offense, that's great. But when we do, obviously being able to execute in the half court is something that's going to be really important too.
At Summit League Media Days, we talked about the pace, and it seems like everyone else in the league also was focusing on pace on offense too. What has been the defensive side of the ball focus for this team as well?
Yeah, I think just for us, we know that we need to be tough to guard tough in the half court, but we've spent a lot of time just on our transition defense. And I feel like once we get matched up and we're, connected defensively, we're really good. But that transition piece was really, really huge for us, and kind of through our scrimmages and stuff like that was something that I felt like, man, we got to do better at this. And they've responded really, really well. So that's been good. I think just, kids, they like to play offense. So just, hey, buying into defensively, we've got to get stops. And this has got to be a way that we look at creating extra possessions offensively and kind of framing it like that so that we can get more attempts on the offensive end. So I think that they're locked into that a little bit more as well, too. But, I'm excited. I think this will be a really good defensive team that we put on the floor this year.
I know they talked about some of the freshmen.
Yeah.
And how impressed they were with some of them on the floor and everything. I guess, do you see them contributing early on in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they will definitely have an opportunity to help us out. The thing I like about our freshmen, they all come from really good high school, and they played with really good AAU programs that were highly competitive. We have a young lady, Cora, who won a state championship. Lucy has been in a state tournament. Allie's been in a state tournament. So they've, kind of come with that mentality of knowing what it takes. So for them, it's kind of like, yeah, they're freshmen, but they're just stepping into the gym as competitors. So I think that that's been really nice to build on. Is it been, like, hey, them picking up on some of the concepts taking a little longer? Absolutely, but their heads are in the right place. They're getting the extra work. Our older kids are really doing a great job with just talking to them and explaining things to them. So I'm expecting some big things from our freshmen this year. Yeah.
Because the amount of returners this group said, they're just close on and off the court. What's it like coaching this group so far? Also, just because you've known most of them
Yeah.
for a good portion of time now.
I'm having fun with them. Like, I really am. Like, we can laugh, we can joke. I think too, though, because of the relationships and knowing them, I can get on them and it's not personal. They know it's not personal. So that, as a coach, is just a really beautiful thing, that you can have that relationship because they know they care about you. And some of that comes with them knowing me now for a little bit longer. Obviously, with them being a little bit older as well, too. I think the trust is a really big thing, and I've tried to do more to just connect with them individually, outside of basketball, whether it be in practice, right after practice, just giving them a buzz on my drive home from work. I think all of that stuff has just helped this group have that close connection.
With meaningful regular season basketball so close, what's the excitement level, and what are you looking to get out of the first portion of the schedule?
I'm excited. I think they're excited. I think we have a really tough non-conference schedule, and that's always exciting because the Summit League is such a good conference. And so just being prepared for that and getting some of those tough teams early just to kind of see where we're at was really good. Our kids are ready to go. They know that they have to be more consistent. And that's kind of been another theme for us, is like, hey, be consistent throughout the year. Like, for us, every game has to be a championship game, that energy, that excitement, that attention to detail and execution. And so they kind of know and understand that. And so I think they're really excited to, I don't want to say make some noise or anything like that, but just they're excited to get going and showcase who they really are, which is a really talented group.
Good portion of this team has fallen just short in the finals. How much do you think that served as a motivation for a good chunk of this group?
Yeah, I think it was just motivation. I think a big lesson learned of what it takes. And then also, as we talk about consistency, like, okay, this is the level we have to play at all the time to position ourselves for these moments. So it's been nice to have that, but it's also kind of like, okay, let's stop having this conversation and let's have a different one here soon. But we really haven't, we're not focused on that right now. We're really just, our first game is Illinois State, so that's kind of, the headline for us right now. But just them having that in the back of their minds and knowing what it takes is obviously a motivator. But I think they have a lot of games that they're excited for this year, which is really good.